Hello, my name is GD and welcome to the tour of the van with no name. While the thumbnail does say 10 days to find a van and fit it out, the truth is this isn't my first van and I am an experienced woodworker, but it was 10 days to make it livable, and then over the next 12 months I improved it, I added more systems and components and accessories, and that's what we're going to look at today. So first we'll do a run around the outside and then a quick zoom through the inside, and then we'll get on with the tour. So, welcome aboard. I just want to say here that a lot of the things you see inside the van, I've provided links for in the description. They are affiliate links and they'll take you straight to the Amazon store. If you like something that you see, you can just click on it and buy it, and they pay me a tiny commission. You don't pay that, they do. Okay, so here we go. We're at the side door, and what I've got here is just a little collapsible stool that I use outside, and above that is a fold-up table that I use outside when I'm cooking, and it's held in by this shock cord. And then we've got my homemade curtains that are held in by curtain wire. You can see there. I've got a link to that in the description. And what have we got? Oh, this is part of my old coffee table at home. And I've got two of these, one at this door and one at the back door, and I have meals on here. And I sit on the esky and eat my dinner there. Under there's a fire blanket. And these are my external lights that are wired into the Blue Eddy power station. And that's your first reason to subscribe, because I will show you how to wire up your power station to run all these accessories. Okay, now over the other side here, just before we go inside, I've got a little compost bin that's now my trash bin, and I've just repurposed that. And above there is the left-hand speaker of my entertainment system, which is also run by my power station. First aid kit in there, and well, you know what these are. You can't do without them if you're going to be in a van. The baby wipes come in very handy, use them every day. And this is my little shower pack. If I have to run in and have a shower somewhere, I just grab that, and everything I need is in there. Grab that, and off I go. Very handy. And what we've got here is my little ready bin that I just use my some coffee making stuff in here. I've got zip bags. What else we got? Oh, my beautiful enamel kettle, powdered milk, travel mug. This is a little thermos mug. If I want to have coffee on the road, I can boil water in the morning in this, and then make a coffee later in the day with hot water. It's great. And I've got over here a solar torch, very handy. Garbage bags, napkins, and paper plates. If you can't wash up somewhere, just use a paper plate. And then what have we got over here? This little cabinet used to be my bedside cabinet that I've repurposed, and it fits very nicely in the van here. And I keep my fridge down here covered by my towel to help keep it cool. And next to that you can see another thermos flask, fire extinguisher down on the floor there. And this is my little coffee making basket. I have a few ways of making coffee in the van. And in here I've got coffee sachets, more powdered milk, sugar, some chocolate bars like muesli bars. And in behind there, I've got cling wrap and kitchen paper and tin foil for for cooking or making hats when you need to. And up here is my cutlery drawer, and this is held locked in by this little bolt you can see here. Now I'll just try and open it with one hand. Can I do it? Yep, there we go. And there's all my cutlery. And then when I close it and I put the bolt back in, when I'm travelling, that's not going anywhere. That's nice and locked. Okay, well, you know what this is. I need to describe that. And then what else have we got? Over here, I have my porta toilet for emergencies only, but very handy to have. Link in description. I have a 200-watt solar blanket that charges my power station, and with 15 metres of extension cable. This battery here is only for my fridge, and it's powered by the solid panel up on the roof, and that's just one system. All it does is run the fridge. And if I need to, it can be flexible. I can charge that with the blanket if I need more power, if I'm parked in the shade. Or I can even charge the power station with that solar panel on the roof just by switching the wires around. So there's another reason to subscribe. In another video, I'll show you how to set all that nice and efficiently. You don't need elaborate setups anymore. You don't need inverters and fuse boxes. It's all done quite simply nowadays with a power station and a solar charge controller, which I'm going to show you in a second. These are storage boxes or bins. What do I keep in there? Like some winter clothes, my busking hat, shopping bags, that sort of thing. There's my solar charge controller, and that's only wired into the panel on the roof. That's my CO2 detector. Now, what's this? This is a boat cleat. Comes in very handy. You know, like a late night around the campfire, you've got the wobbly boot on, you need a bit of a hand to get inside. You can grab that and pull yourself up. But it also, look at this. Look what else you can do with it. Hang your shopping on it. Very handy little item. And I've got these in a few other places around the van that you're going to see very shortly. Now, this is my little hand pump for my little kitchen sink. I chose to go with a hand pump rather than electric because electric is just too noisy. And the sink is a salad bowl converted with a hole in the bottom. Now we get a wider view so you can get an idea of what's coming up. Oh, hello. Okay, there's a fake plant for a bit of colour. That's a diffuser. And that's a trivet, cast iron, that I've fitted into the bench top here. And so when you're cooking, which I do my cooking here, if you've got a hot pan or a kettle, you just can just whack it on that trivet on the side there and carry on cooking with another pan. There's my cooker. Put my laptop up there as well. And that comes in very handy. And here we've got a little pull-out bench. You can see I've just used it. I use that for prep when I'm cooking. Extension for my power station. This is USB ports if I need to charge something up this end. This is a little weather station. Comes in handy, temperature and time. And that little hook there on the left is where I hang my keys. Very important you have a place for your keys. And always keep them in the one spot so you're never looking for them. Okay, I've got my herbs and spices all along there. Cooking, another little espresso machine. Another way to make coffee. Top here, you can see another boat cleat on the corner there, and I keep my glasses in that little box there. And I've got these boat cleats that run right along the top here and connect them up with a shock cord. And that helps keep my clothes in up on the top. And in this cupboard here, I'll keep my shirts. I was going to keep kitchen stuff in there, but it wasn't enough room, so I just keep my shirts in there. And I have another one the same at the other end of the van that we'll see shortly. This is my entertainment center, an old iPod that's just wired to this Android head unit, which is all powered by my power station, and I'll show you all how to do that in another video. Reason to subscribe. And this is a little extension arm that I put my iPad on so I can watch movies, and that's also connected to the entertainment centre. There's a little chopping board. I just keep it here, but it goes over here when I'm prepping food. And in here, this is my bathroom cabinet. So we'll just have a quick look in there. A bit of man jewellery on the right. And you know what's in here, the usual suspects. I'm doing this all one-handed. I've got camera in one hand and the other hand opening cupboards and doors. So this is another little cupboard, and I keep more clothes up here. And I want you to notice how light this timber is. When I built this cabinet, all the heavy timber went down the bottom, the frame and the bench tops. And as the cabinet goes up higher, the timber gets lighter and lighter until we get up the top here. Look how thin that is. So that I've got no weight up the top. And you can see no roof lining, no floorboards lining the roof. because I knew I was going to put a roof rack on the outside, and I didn't want to have extra weight up there. I wanted to keep all the weight down the bottom. Okay, here's my power station. Now, I watched a lot of reviews on these, and honestly, people doing the reviews, I don't think are real word users. They don't know all of the features and what you can do with it, but I do. So in future videos, I will show you exactly what you can do with this power station. Now, this is running my entertainment system. It's running the external lights, and I use it to charge my iPhone, iPad, iPod, and my lights, my internal lights. Now, these are great little USB chargeable lights. I've got these all around the van, and they run for about 12 hours. And so here we have a quick look at night time inside the van. And they take about 2 hours to charge, and I'll put a link to them in the description as well. I've got about 6 of them. One I keep on permanent charge in the drawer, and I just rotate them around. As one goes flat, I whack another one out. And there's my rechargeable fan. I could not do this without that fan. I can tell you that right now. And what we've got, charging cables I keep here. It's a 3-meter extension cable for the iPhone, so I can lie back in bed and have it on charge. Very handy. I've got more charging cables here. I've got remote controls for the fan and a remote control for my stereo. Okay, now we're just going to swing around, go up the other end of the cupboard here, and look in the first cupboard door. Now this is where I keep my drinking water. You'll see down the bottom here. But first of all, that's just a storage for extra bathroom items. When you buy a 2-pack of soap or whatever, you keep the extras in there. That's what that's for. And I've got paper towels sitting up on top here. Flavoured drink. I don't drink booze, so that's what I drink. This is how I fill up my tap water, with that long neck funnel, and it goes to that 10-litre container down the bottom here. Hanging on the door there is a toasty. We're going to get into that later, what you can do with that. But my grey water goes into these little blue bottles here. So there's one there, and that's only 2 litres, I think. Now, why have I got a 2-litre grey water bottle? Well, I'll tell you, I had a 10-litre one, the same as the freshwater bottle, and after a couple of days, it stunk. And another reason is when you empty your grey water, emptying a 10-litre container is not discreet, and it attracts attention. But I empty the blue one every morning, and it's just, you just walk out and tip it on a garden, and it's very discreet. No one cares what you're doing, you're just tipping out some water. And it doesn't have a chance to ferment like a large storage container would. So that's why I use that. All right, now I'll put that away. Now, also down the bottom here, we have, come on. I'm actually doing an overdub here because it was a very windy day and noisy when I filmed this. So down the bottom here, I have a hot plate grill pan. It's like a Korean barbecue pan. And there's another grill pan next to that. And my butane canisters. All right, that's that covered. Now, I was going to build drawers all the way through here, but then I found these woven baskets, and they just fit in there really nicely, so I stayed with them. Now, this first drawer, I keep cooking utensils in here, pans, some bowls. Pretty basic stuff. What's this? Okay, the next thing along is my USB blender. Now, this item is just terrific. Just imagine what you can do with that. And then under here in this big basket, I keep more kitchen utensils. There's another toasty, and I'm going to make videos on what you can do with these. I cook all sorts of stuff in these toasting machines. Vegetables, pies, even steak. There's my little mini wok, which is terrific for one-person stir-fries. Link in the description. I'll just put that away. Hang on a sec. Okay. Now moving along to the next one. I keep in this here just dry food, some snacks, and some quick meals if I don't have time to prep a meal. I've got some instant meals in here. that I can just grab if I need to. The next one along, I keep my electrical stuff in here and batteries. There's a telescope in there. And another chopping board. I use that one for meat. Okay, now down here there's a little cubby hole, and in here I keep, or you can see more gas canisters at the end of my guitar. And I've got the hose here for my outdoor shower, my rooftop shower. There it is. Link in description for rooftop shower. Okay, under the bed, chess set, backgammon set, fishing rod, and down there is a little table for your laptop if you're sitting up in bed. Comes in very handy. Now, when I first made this bed, it was a double. I had a pull out. You could pull right across to the cupboard there and fold the mattresses out into a double bed, but it was such a hassle every day and every morning having to pack it up and put it down. And when you're in bed, when it's set up, you've got no room. You can't move. You can't access the cupboards and the drawers. So I just went with this single bed size, and it's just me, and it's fine. Okay, this is a bit of my woodwork here. It's a bit of inlay that I used to do. And this is my reading light. Very handy little light. It's where I keep my hats. My noise cancelling headphones come in very handy. Look at this back cushion here. Now that's a triangle shape. And look how neat it is rather than a square cushion. And it's more comfortable. You can actually lean back on it. And down behind there, I've got more storage between the bed and the wall of the van, and that's where I keep blankets and sleeping bags. Okay, this is my doona, or duvet. I keep that wrapped up or bundled like that, so you can use it as a pillow. You can just lean against it and keeps it nice and neat. Underneath here, I've got long-term storage under the bed, and I keep, some tools in there and stuff I don't access very often. It's hard to get into, as you'll see. You've actually need two hands. I've only got one here. But that's for long-term storage. Okay, I'll just tidy things back up a little bit. The doona again on my ukulele on the wall. Oh, look at this. There's another light. And then that's my back scratcher. You've got to have one of those. There's the ukulele, late night tunes sitting up in bed. Okay, that's the other speaker for my entertainment system. I keep toilet roll in here. I just grab that bag and head off if I need to. Okay, now, this was originally going to be my toilet when I did the build, but it took up too much room. It was wasting space, so now I just use it for storage, and I use that other collapsible toilet if I need to. In these cushions I store my clothes, depending on the season, winter clothes or summer clothes. This is the other part of my coffee table. And I have meals on here too. Sit at the back tailgate, which is very comfortable. Okay, now we're going to get over to the back door of the van. That's my little cooker. And I can access this from inside the van with the back door closed. I made this little gap here, and I can get it just like that. And this is my utility cupboard. Some people call it the garage. And in here I've got a handsaw, a hammer, tomahawk. That's my fishing tackle, extension ladder. I keep all my awning stuff in here, like guy ropes, tent pegs, my guitar. And this is a duck board that I use for my external shower or to step up into the van. If it's wet outside, I'll put that down. That's a collapsible bucket. Okay, so we're almost at the end of the video here, and I just wanted to show you outside my full camp setup. Right now I'm at a beach in North Queensland, Australia, and I'm here for a week, and this is how I set up. I bring enough food and fresh water to last a week, and there's my cooking utensils. But I want to talk to you here about future videos, and if you have any questions about anything you've seen and you want more detail, just ask me in the comments and I'll answer or maybe make a video on that subject. And also future videos about the build. I'm going to show you some images of the build in just a few moments. you want to see a video on that and on my solar setup, I'll go into detail about how I've set up my fridge. It's very simple. You don't need all the elaborate equipment anymore. You don't need inverters and fuse boxes. I can take you through that setup. And my power station, how to get the most out of your power station to run accessories like entertainment and external wiring to the power station to run your lights, and what all the features are. So future videos. This is my fresh water. I've got 40 litres here, I think, and that'll last me a week. And in that's my collapsible bucket. I keep creek water in there just for rinsing off, and I use that little scoop that's sitting on top there. I use that to pail out water as I need it. All right, now coming up, I'm going to show you a couple of quick pictures of the build. Here we go, progress shot of the build. If you want to see more, let me know, and the plans for the build that I did on the computer before I started the build. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you all again another time.